Hello generic viewers, it's me, Valk. The topic of today's video is the Harrier GR.1 in War Thunder. You may know from the title of this video that I'm going to be discussing the Harrier. However, I'm not going to be giving it a full review. Today, I'm sort of going to complain about it, which is something new I'm trying to see how it works. Keep in mind I'm a casual player, and that may influence my personal opinion on and how I play this plane. In this video, I will highlight several aspects of the plane that cause it to suffer at its current battle rating. First, let's go over the battle rating. It's at battle rating 10.0, meaning it can sometimes get into matches with planes of battle rating 11.0, which is currently the highest battle rating in the game. However, when it does get into 11.0 matches, you're effectively playing a losing game. That is, if you think of dying as losing. If you're fine with dying, you confuse me, and I guess this is the perfect plane for you at the moment. At 11.0, you may be on a team with the British, however, you will still most likely be facing either Sweden, Japan, or both of which have extremely good infrared and radar-guided missiles that they can launch from above you. However, the Harrier doesn't have any radar warning receiver or countermeasures of any variety. If you do get into 10.0 matches, you will still be facing things that will be nearly impossible to kill unless they make a mistake. The F4C Phantom and A5C and all the early Mach-capable jets also sit near BR 10.0, or routinely get up-tiered to it. Now let's talk about your missiles. It may say that you have a 2-kilometer launch range, but that's really just a travel range. The launch range is effectively half of that because, you know, physics and stuff. If the plane you're chasing is moving, which most of them are, it needs to stay within 2 kilometers of a missile's original launch point if you want to actually hit it. Hell, even if you're within range and the target has flares, your SRAM will be attracted to the flares like dogs to food dropped on the floor. If you somehow manage to get the perfect shot, the enemy can simply continue flying straight forward and get out of its range. If you're in a turn fight with something and you get within a kilometer of it, and you manage to get a lock with the SRAM, it won't do its job being a short-range air-to-air missile because everything at battle rating 10.0 is fast enough to evade your missile if the player has half a brain and any experience. Now let's talk about the missiles you'll be facing. At this battle rating, you'll be facing a humble jumble of missiles. There are missiles you can easily evade, such as R3Rs, R3Ss, and AIM-9Bs. However, it's the other category of missiles that you're practically screwed against. Note, I'm saying practically because I did outturn an R60 at one point, but otherwise you're essentially back in the hangar screen if you're facing missiles such as R550s, R60s, AIM-9Gs, or AIM-7Ds. You can defeat the AIM-7D by flying closer to the ground, but I have yet to find a way to defeat an R550 Matra magic missile in the Harrier GR1. I've tried all the tactics I currently know of, which mainly consist of breaking into the missile. However, you're just unable to turn tight enough even if you VIF. Half of you may be wondering, hey, what's VIFing? And the other half of you probably already watched the Scottish Koala's video about British Harriers versus A4 Skyhawks and already know. For those who don't know, VIFing is short for vectoring in forward flight and was a tactic used as a last resort by American Harrier pilots if it was ever used at all. What you do is you change the vector of your thrust nozzle to 100% and go into VTOL mode so you can turn a bit tighter. Speaking of turning, that's a thing the Harrier does not like to do. It may not be like the F-8U Crusader, where its wings rip whenever you try to dodge a missile, but it just doesn't turn that well. You can make up for this slightly by using your vector control like I said earlier. However, one drawback to VTOL and VIFing in War Thunder is that for the vectors to be controllable, your engine gives off a heat signature from multiple directions other than just the rear, meaning you can get locked from most directions with infrared missiles. Now let's talk a bit about your engine. but we won't be going into great detail on it. The Harrier is equipped with the Bristol Siddeley Pegasus engine, which is one of the first engines in the world to feature a thrust nozzle and options for vertical takeoff and landing. However, this comes with a price, seeing that it's a really early version of the engine. Your engine overheats insanely fast while going only 100% throttle, compared to everything else that can sit with war emergency power or full afterburners on for most of the whole game without getting any overheat notifications. Oh, and did I mention that you're probably the slowest plane at your battle rating? Hell, even at your own battle rating, you're facing stuff with 30G missiles like the A5C, and radar missiles that can lock you from even further like the F4C. Overall, the Harrier may have been an overpowered plane when it was initially brought into the game, but at this point, when you're facing stuff that can hit you from practically any direction, you're not going to have a lot of fun. Some things Gaijin could do to fix the Harrier, or make it semi-playable, include the following. Move it back down to 9.7 and keep everything else about it unchanged. Give it the option to carry AIM-9G Sidewinder missiles like literally every other Harrier variant in the game. Lower the repair cost significantly, because you'll be repairing this thing all the time. Or give it flares similar to the Aviate-A. At the moment, the Harier GR.1 is possibly the worst Harrier in War Thunder. But it's all you've got if you're trying to reach top-tier Britain without going through the whole tech tree using tech tree vehicles. It's the only rank 6 premium plane that Britain gets, and unless Gaijin makes at least one of the changes I've listed, it's going to be a difficult grind with a lot of death and expensive repairs. If you think I've been playing the Harrier completely wrong and there's actually an effective way to play it, please let me know in the comments, or on Discord. This isn't a snide thing, I actually want to get good results. Also, speaking of Discord, if you join and stay active for long enough, you may even be able to show up in videos or streams in the future. Anyways, if you found this video interesting even in the least bit, please do consider dropping a like, it really helps out my channel quite a bit. If you're coming here from one of my other videos or slightly interested in my content, do consider subscribing and turning on notifications, because although my upload schedule seems to be taking a form this month, afterwards it's probably gonna get pretty random starting in December, because I am still a student and all. So if you want to know when I upload something that's probably interesting, I would recommend turning on notifications. Anyways, that's all from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and whatever you watch after this. Remember, don't be like me. Be unique.